Coming back to you guys with another Orlando Magic video. I made my most recent one on Monday talking about the Desmond Bane trade. And when it comes to things like that, I don't like to listen to other people's opinion until I make my video. In the last couple of days, I've just been able to listen to what everybody is saying about this trade. Guys like Stephen A. Smith, guys like Gilbert Arenas not supporting this trade. I don't think they understand how good the Orlando Magic is. Now, the Orlando Magic are coming off a season where they finished 41-41. But when you look at their team stats and you look at the games played for their three best players and the three best players of the young core on this team, that's another key factor that we got to keep in mind. When we look at a Paolo Banchero, who only played 46 games this season, when we look at a Franz Wagner, who only played 60 games this season, and you look at a Jalen Suggs, who only played 35 games this season, I think that is so impressive, and I think that's something that people are overlooking. With a season like this, with your three best players on the team missing that many combined games together, I didn't add it up, but you add up all those games, that's going to be a bunch of games where they didn't have one of those three players, and somehow this team still managed to make the NBA playoffs. And they did get in via tournament, but if we had the classic NBA rules, they still would have made the playoffs as a 7th seed. So why I bring this up is that it's very obvious that the Orlando Magic, they have a bunch of talent on this team, and they also have a good head coach in Jamal Mosley. And one thing and why I bring this up is that no matter what, it seems like the Orlando Magic, they're going to be competitive over at least the next 6-7 years with these three guys on the ball club. The system that Jamal Mosley has in play, his defensive-minded system, it kept them alive while they were missing their key guys. So if you have these three guys healthy in the Eastern Conference, the Orlando Magic, they're going to be in the playoffs. So people are bringing up these first-round draft picks. The four first-round draft picks that they let go, a first-round draft pick isn't really that valuable if you're not at the bottom of the NBA. And the Orlando Magic, they just proved for at least the next 5, 6, 7 years, they're going to be in the NBA playoffs. The type of injury buzz that they went through this year, it wasn't just to those three guys, but also Franz Wagner's brother, Mo Wagner. He only played 30 games last season. He's an intricate part to what they like to do on the offensive side of the ball. So that's why those four first-round draft picks, it's not really going to mean anything unless you think the Orlando Magic are going to be missing the playoffs over these next few years, which it seems like it's going to be a very hard thing for them to do. And then another thing, with those guys missing so much time, with their best defender missing so much time, Jalen Suggs, who made the All-NBA defensive team next year, the Orlando Magic, they still finished as the second-rated team in all of the NBA. So all of these signs all of these things are pointing to the Orlando Magic. They have a really good core. They have something to build on over the next couple of years. So these first-round picks, they're not going to really mean anything to us. And we look at the Magic during the Paolo Banchero era, what they've been struggling with is their offense, their spacing, and most importantly, their three-point shooting. So they're probably doing the same thing that I'm doing right now, listing out all of these great positive things, the type of season that they had with their three best young players who's all significantly young. I think Paolo Banchero, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say Jalen Suggs and Franz Wagner, they're the same age as me, born in 2001, and Paolo Banchero is even younger than me. So these guys are all significantly young, and the guy that they just went out and traded for in Desmond Bane, he is the player that brings all of the things that they need, what they need. He's replacing Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and he's also replacing Cole Anthony. And we look at the Orlando Magic over these last few years, they haven't really been getting much out of their perimeter players, out of their perimeter guards, as far as the shooting and as far as the self-shot creation goes. And Jalen Suggs, he makes some plays on the offensive side of the ball, but he's not the type of guy that you run your offense through, or the type of guy that is having the ball in his hands a lot and consistently creating for himself and creating for others. But he is an offensive playmaker, in my opinion. But what the Orlando Magic has been missing is a guard who can play with the basketball in their hands, without the basketball in their hands, and is a legit threat from the three-point line. And we look at Desmond Bane. What he's been doing in the Western Conference. It's another thing people has to realize. People keep saying that Desmond Bane is a non-all-star basketball player. Desmond Bane has been playing in the Western Conference his entire career. The last 3 seasons, he's averaged 19 points per game, he's averaged 21 points per game, and he's averaged 20 points per game, all while shooting 39% or better from the three-point line. On the career, he's a 41% three-point shooter, and we can all agree on that. Over the last couple of years or so, the last handful of years, the Western Conference has been the more competitive conference and the more talented conference than the Eastern Conference. So Desmond Bane coming to the Eastern Conference in the condition that is in right now, I think he's gonna be playing so much better, and he might have an opportunity to get into the All-Star game. So that's what's really been like bothering me lately, is that a lot of people don't realize how good the Orlando Magic is or are. And the biggest thing that they overlook is Paolo Banchero. Paolo Banchero, in my opinion, you watch him with your eyes, you ignore the numbers. He is legit a problem. He's been putting up these crazy numbers, these crazy scoring outputs, and everybody in the NBA knows that he's going to be shooting the ball. They're going to load up on him every time. He's facing these crazy defensive coverages, and he's still putting up crazy numbers. He is a legit problem. And I love Paolo Banchero because of he's a very unique size. He's like Blake Griffin mixed together with, I can't even think of another player right now, but when we look at his size, his athleticism, he's 6'10", 250 pound, he's a lean 250. He's the same size as a classic power forward, but he has legit guard skills, man. There was this one clip, it was my favorite Paolo Banchero clip, man. I think this was his rookie year. It's this clip of him, he's breaking down Aaron Gordon. He's at like the top of the key, put a crazy move on Aaron Gordon. He could have bullied him. He could have backed his way down to the basket, but he cooked him and he got to the rim for a layup. So Paolo Banchero, man, he's a special type of player. And if you find these clips where they're getting mic'd up, he's ultra competitive. He loves to talk crazy to other players, and I just love players like that. And then also you look at his duo, his counter partner, Franz Wagner. Franz Wagner is another player that is just so unique to me at 6'10", and his ability to handle the ball. But by far the best part of his game, I think, is his basketball IQ, and then also his ability to finish around the rim. He has every type of move you would want a player his size to have when it comes to finishing around the rim. He has the Euro step, he has the hop step, he can finish with both hands, he can finish through contact, he has the floater to his game. He's just so good around the rim, and all that other stuff is coming as well. The mid-range game, and the three-point shot, and the playmaking, and he's also becoming a better rebounder. So I love these two guys as a duo this season. When they were able to play together and when they were able to play on the court, they were putting up crazy numbers scoring the ball, but like we said, they didn't have the offensive weapons around them, the spacing. When we talked about this last year I made this video, man, talking about Tristan Da Silva and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and the Orlando Magic, their official YouTube channel, they commented on the video. We was all excited about this move, about them getting KCP, because we know they just needed one floor spacer out there, one guy that can consistently knock down that three-point shot, and that just wasn't the case for KCP last year. And I think that's what guys like Stephen A. Smith and Gilbert Arenas, like, this is not what they're just understanding. I just think the Orlando Magic last season, they went through one of the toughest seasons that they could go through, and somehow they still went into the NBA playoffs with KCP playing so bad. And also they signed him to a huge chunk of money. So also trading him away with those draft picks, they also get to offload a bad contract in KCP and bring in Desmond Bane, who's 26 years of age, who's been playing in the Western Conference on the Memphis Grizzlies as a third option, still pinning up 19, 20 points per game. He can handle the ball, he can run off screens, he can cut. And what I like about Desmond Bane is he's somebody that's been underlooked his whole career. Even now, people still talk about how short his arms are, so it makes him play with a real chip on his shoulder. And I love players like that, because you can never really know, man. Nowadays, people get in the NBA, they get paid so much money. When you making money like that, as a role player, it's hard to say I want to show up if I'm not getting this same attention as LeBron, if I'm not getting the same attention as a Kevin Durant, just to throw out some big name superstars. So to see guys still playing hard, and you're making crazy money as a role player, I love that. But Desmond Bane, he's somebody that's that's been overlooked, and you can see it. He plays with a chip on his shoulder. He's not a player that just relies on the 3-point shot. He actually doesn't even, he doesn't take a volume amount of threes. He takes really good 3-point shots, and if the defense is taking away his 3-point shot, he's more than capable of putting the ball on the floor. You playing the pick and roll game, getting in the in between game at the midi, or finishing all the way downhill. He's a really solid basketball player. But only time will show us how this trade will work out for the Orlando Magic. I think it's going to work out big time when I think of a starting lineup of Jalen Suggs, Desmond Bane, Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero, and Wendell Carter. Man, you could tell who's really watching and who's really not. But that's what I want to talk about with you guys today. It's really, really bothering me because I think the Orlando Magic, they're going to be a huge, huge problem next season in that Eastern Conference, especially with the Boston Celtics being out. And if you watched over the last 2-3 years, they're the one team in the Eastern Conference that really gave the Boston Celtics a lot of problems. So it's going to be real interesting next year. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like. Comment down below if you agree or disagree, and then subscribe for more weekly content. We do this all the time, man. And that's curtains.